Welcome, Dr. Raj Bothra. In fact, I wanted you on board before I introduce you.
Sure.
Yours is a story that needs to be told. An American dream that went bad and how. And the reason why it happened was because perhaps America is going through bad times. The United States of America. Dr. Raj Bothra migrated to the United States to live that American dream like so many of us Indians decades ago, made his name and fame, and made himself relevant socially to a level where back here the motherland rewarded him with the Padma Shri back in early 2000s, and then sometime in 2018 something happened which is a horrific story, and to narrate that, Dr. Bothra has come out with a book called USA v. Raj, which is about the case through which he had to, live through. And we will listen through him what the case was, how it happened, and what exactly it tells us about the present state of affairs in the United States. So welcome again, Dr. Raj Bothra, and the floor is open to you. Please tell your story. What made you write this book? What happened which made you think in terms of communicating this aspect of the United States also?
Thank you very much for having me. I've been living in America since 1972, and before that I was in England. I became a surgeon in England, then I went to America. And as you said, the land of opportunity, and looking for opportunities, I went there. I spent 50 years there as a surgeon, and everything was going extremely well. Life was good, things were okay. And then all of a sudden, on 6th of December 2018, there was a knock on my door at 6 o'clock in the morning, FBI showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the guns blazing. And I could not figure out what is going on. I was shocked. I never had any issue with law. I have been, law-abiding citizen. I'm active in America, not only in my surgical field, but otherwise also in the social activities and political activities. And I never had any issue at all. So I was kind of shocked what happened. And they told me that they asked me my name, and I said, this is my name. And they said, we have a arrest warrant for you. I just couldn't believe what is going on. So I asked them, what is the reason for it? And they said, we're not going to tell you anything. You will be presented to the judge in the morning, and then you can explain what is going on. Now, when I was presented to the judge, and there were 5 other doctors, and they were in the same kind of situation. They were all there in front of the judge. He gave the bail to 5 people with the exact same indictment, word by word. There was no other thing. So he gave the bail in the morning to all of them. They went home, but the bail was denied to me on the flimsy ground that...
Dr. Bothra, we'll come to that. But I just want to begin with the beginning. The FBI came, arrested you, showed an arrest warrant. So everything was official till then. Did they tell you why they are arresting you, in what case they are arresting you? Did they read the charges? Did they read the case to you?
No, they did not do anything, the FBI, but they told me that you will be presented to the judge in the morning, and the judge will tell you.
Okay.
And when I went there to the judge, they told me that there are charges against you about the Medicare fraud and also the distribution of the narcotic medications.
You were arrested. The judge read you the charges. What were the charges? 54 counts of healthcare fraud, but what kind of healthcare fraud?
Well, the healthcare fraud was that one thing, that you have overcharged the government on the Medicare program, which the government provides to the people over 65 years of age. Right. And the second main charge was that you are over prescribing the narcotic medication, and there is a opioid crisis, and you have made the people addicts by prescribing the medications.
Okay, and
These were the charges.
Then what happened? Did you not get a bail? I mean, why did you not get a bail? I mean, is it not a bailable offense, or is it like you also mentioned that 5 others were arrested along with you? Were they also doctors?
They were all doctors. I had a big center. I was the owner of the company, and the other people were employees.
Okay, and so then what happened? Like no bail?
But the bail was given to all other 5 people. They went home, and the bail was denied to me because the reason they gave is that you are a flight risk. You know the people in India, and you go there often, and you can flee to India, and therefore the bail is denied. And I was put in the prison.
Right. And how right were the charges? Like, of course, subsequently you got acquitted, but what was your first reaction? I mean, did you speak to a lawyer and get legal help? And I mean, what was your reaction? You must have been in a state of shock.
No, I was in shock, and I told my wife to call attorney, and the attorney came there to the court. And as I said, that the bail was denied to me because the prosecutor said that I'm a flight risk and I'll go back to India, and that's the reason they gave. Now, in retrospect, I can think what was going on. There was a opioid crisis in the country. I had the biggest practice. I was the biggest practice in the country, and they were looking for some. I was the poster child for them to make a sensational news and to send a message to the other people. And the reason I was poster child, one thing, because of the crisis going on, because I had the biggest medical practice, and because I can say that because I was brown and because I was Indian.
Yeah, I mean, you are actually clearly, it comes out, not just that you are suggesting, but it comes out. 5 others, possibly white, your colleagues at the center, they were given a bail immediately. You were not. And the manner you were targeted, obviously it smacks of racial profiling.
Well, in retrospect, I did not. I worked there for a long period of time, and we did not see that much of a problem, but I saw it coming, this thing. Because in the beginning, we went to America, we were providing a good service to them, we were trying to build up our life there, take care of our family, take care of the education for the children. But lately, Indians are doing extremely well. And now they have become competitors to the Americans. We were not competitors before, now we have become the competitors. And India, as you know, is the richest community in America, even bigger than the Jewish people. And therefore, these things have come up, and it wasn't there before. But certainly it is there now.
You actually mentioned in one of your interviews, Dr. Bothra, that things have deteriorated in the United States, things have gotten worse. Your case, is it more about the America of present times than anything else?
I agree with you. The things have changed. If I see about 10 or 15 years ago, it was gradually declining for the last 10, 15 years. But it has reached a crescendo now, and the things are going pretty bad in America, as a country. As a country, it is going very bad. And there is a chapter in my book, America Then and America Now. When I went 50 years ago, it was a beautiful country, a lot of opportunity. Racism was always there in America, but it was black versus white versus black. Yeah. Now it is white versus non-white. That includes Indians and many other countries. And that's what has happened in the last 10, 15 years.
Let's go back to the case. You were mentioning about the opioid epidemic in the United States, and that having a bearing on your case. It's actually connected at the hip. What's exactly the prescription for which you were targeted? What is the law about that prescription? Like, is it allowed in United States or not allowed? Is it allowed in other parts of the world, including India, or not allowed? Were you prescribing it beyond the law, or what was the case?
No, that is totally that they targeted me for the reasons I just gave you. What we had given, they had exaggerated everything. Now, 2 things, mainly 2 things. One thing, they said that they have paid us to the company $450 million in the last 6 years. That is the totally wrong number because they paid us $45 million over a period of 6 years. We had 130 employees. We had a very big clinic. So that number can be proven by the Medicare government, their own records. They
Right.
have the number what they gave it to us. And the second thing about the narcotics, what they did, all they did is to give a number that you have prescribed 2 million pills of narcotics, hydrocodone and oxycodone, over a period of 6 years. What they failed to say that it was for 25,000 patients. As I said, it was the biggest practice in the country. If you see a practice, it is usually 500 patients or 1,000 patients, but it is 25,000 patients, and they knew it. It is 25,000 patients. So obviously, our prescription is expected to be 25 times more than a usual clinic.
Yeah.
And it's not the government did not know that. They knew it. But it's still because and only thing they put in the indictment is the number of pills written, not
Right.
saying that there are 25,000 patients. And that's how they brought the case up.
And these medicines, hydrocodone and oxycodone that you mentioned, are these standard prescription drugs for pain relief in the United States?
Yeah, definitely it is. And we are interventional pain, meaning that we do injections and all other procedures to reduce the pain. And if I can reduce the pain by 50%, I can reduce the medication by 50%. And when everything came out, according to the CDC, what we are supposed to prescribe, we did even much less than that. And that was proven in the court.
Okay, and once you were in jail, how were you treated?
I was treated very badly, like any other prisoner, and prisoners are treated very badly there. Uh, I have hypothyroidism, so I cannot tolerate cold weather. And I asked for medication, for the thyroid medication. I'm just giving an example. They told me that you have to see the doctor in the prison. It takes 2 weeks to get the appointment with the doctor. Then they did a blood test. They waited for the result of the blood test. That takes another 2 weeks. So 4 weeks I'm without medication. It is very cold in Michigan, as you know. In Detroit, it is very cold in the month of December. It is built of the hard concrete, and I requested that give me one blanket, because I'm very cold. And they said we cannot give you till we get the report. So this is just an example I'm giving you.
Yeah.
So it was a very bad situation. Medical care is very poor, and more than that, there is a culture in the judiciary to win at any cost. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong, fair or unfair, moral, immoral, it really doesn't matter. It is totally corrupt system from bottom to the top, whether it is the prosecutors, whether it is US attorney, or even the judges. The only fair thing in American judiciary is the jury. And these are the people of 12 men and common men and women. But then again, to reach to the jury, it took me 1,301 days. 1,301 days they kept me in the prison without bail, and which is really against the US Constitution. According to the Sixth Amendment, they have to have a very speedy trial if they are detaining somebody they detain somebody without the trial.
Yeah.
And the trial started after 3.5 years. So they kept me in the prison for 3.5 years. And the reason to keep me is to break me. If they break me, other people will fall and they can declare victory.
How were they trying to break you?
Was by keeping me inside the prison for 3.5 years, where I have a very difficult time. Even the attorneys have difficult time in coming and preparing my case. And then they shifted me to another prison. And after the trial started, the next day, they took me to another prison. I don't have my legal papers there. I was put in a medical unit with the very cold weather, and they take me to the prison early in the morning. I come back late in the night. There is no food provided to me. So the last 7 weeks that the trial was there, it was almost what they were trying to do, that because they could not break me. They told me that if you take the plea deal with the government, then we can, see that what we can do for you, and maybe you can go home, and maybe we give you 1 year or 2 years. I was ready to compromise to a certain extent, but I said one thing I will never do, and that is accepting a plea deal. If I accept a plea deal, I'm a convicted felon for life. And
Yeah.
I'm never going to do that because I did not commit any kind of crime. I did not do anything wrong. And this will not happen. Apart from that, I'll do anything. But they thought that they can break me by keeping me in prison.
But Dr. Bothra, like it happens in India, so must be the case in the United States when a legal process or a judicial process is going on. At every stage, you are provided an opportunity to seek bail. From the time that charges are filed to the charges are framed, even before that, after that, 3 years. Did you try and not try and get a bail?
I went to the judge 9 times. We filed the motion 9 times for the bail. And every time the judge denied me the bail for the same reason that you are a flight risk. And 9 times I could not get the bail. And finally, it was, and I knew that this is what is going to happen. And to reach there for the trial, that took 1301 days. And then obviously the trial went on for 7 weeks and I was acquitted.
So the jury
No.
process took 7 weeks.
That is correct.
And then what happened?
Well, the jury came with the verdict. We were able to prove it very clearly about the Medicare payments that they are talking about. We were able to prove it. The narcotics we were given is not high. In fact, it was very lower dose per recommendation of the Center of Disease Control. And the jury was able to understand what we were talking. In the medical terms, sometimes it is difficult, but they were able to understand. And there were 54 counts. 54 counts total, and on each count, I was acquitted by the jury, and the judge had to say 54 times, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty on any charge. And in every count, all the 12 jurors, the vote was 12-0.
So, I mean, how come the jury could see what the judge could not?
Judges come from the same breed. The judges were prosecutors. Prosecutors become the U.S. attorney. U.S. attorney becomes the judge. So basically, there is a cult-like attitude there that they have to win at any cost. 0.03% win from the government. 0.03%. So you can imagine that most of them are criminals. I give that. But at the same time, you cannot reach there. It takes you so much of time, so much of money to get to the jury. And it is almost impossible to win from the government. They made it a prestige issue that it is the biggest Medicare fraud case in the country. And they cannot take it that a person, an ordinary man coming from India, he is beating the United States of government, which is all powerful, all resourceful, and they are ready to do anything. And that is the reason. But jury is the only thing which is impartial.
Because they are common people, they are not law experts, they are not practicing lawyers. They can be rational and reasonable.
You are absolutely right. These are common people, they have nothing to do with politics, and they deliberated, they took their time, and eventually came up with the verdict of non-guilty.
Dr. Bothra, had you got convicted, you would have been in jail for how many years on 54 counts?
20 years for each count. 20 years.
1,000 years.
Yes.
More than 1,000 years you would have been in jail.
And they scared my wife and my daughter that ask him to take a plea deal. And if he doesn't take a plea deal, he's going to die in the prison. I said, so be it. I'll die in the prison, but this one thing I will never do because it is the question of my honor, my family's honor, and the country where I come from. If we can't live with dignity, it is not worth living. And that will never happen, and I never accepted any kind of plea deal.
You earlier mentioned about the changed America, the changes that have come in the United States over the last decade and a half, more specifically in recent years. Dr. Bothra, now that you have come out with this book, a tell-all book of your horrific experience with the judicial and legal systems in the United States. Do you still believe America is the promised land of milk and honey as it is shown sometimes?
Well, I think they are going through a very difficult phase at the moment. There are so many changes that is going on, and they are going through a difficult phase socially, politically. But America is still a resilient country. You know, they have gone through this and they have come back. And I'm hoping it becomes the same America that I went to 50 years ago. And I'm rooting for them. I do not have anything against the country. I have a grudge against the judicial system there, which is unfair. And there are many specific things I have written, what changes should be made to make it a just system and a fair system. But basically, as a country, I don't have anything against. I'm rooting for America. God bless America. It has given me a lot. But the country is having a lot of problem right now. The country is divided between blue and red, as you know, between the Democrats and Republicans. And the division is so deep, and it was always there, but it is now even a hatred between these groups. So that is bringing the country down, and so many other things going on.
So anyway, you're suggesting that the travesty that you went through is a byproduct of the sharp political cleavage that's rocking American society and politics?
Well, I wouldn't say that it is related to the Democrats or Republicans, because there was a narcotic crisis and government wanted to show they are doing something about it. Media was ready to, sensationalize it, and I just got caught into the system. But they knew within a couple of months that everything what they have charged is wrong. What they should have done is to drop the charges. Instead, they doubled down on it. They made it a prestige issue. And as I said, that they cannot tolerate that an ordinary man can win against the United States of America.
Do you still want to live in the United States?
Well, I always wanted to come back to India, and I tried many times. Between 1980 and 2000, I did a lot of work in India on the drug abuse, AIDS, and I spent 1 month every year. And on that basis, I got the Padma Shri. So I left India, but India never left me. I always wanted to come back. But once you are there and once your children are growing up there, my daughter is there, and now she just had twin granddaughters. So it becomes kind of difficult. But I would like to come as much as I can and do some work here.
Dr. Bothra, you are 81 years old. You have accomplished everything in life. And you say that at many points in time in your life, you have wanted to come back to India, but America is still a resilient and great nation. And that you said God bless America. Is that the message that comes out of your book, that maybe there's just some parts which are problematic in the United States today, but otherwise it's a great nation?
Well, I say great nation because I want to feel grateful, and it has given me a lot, country. But there are serious problems in America right now, and we'll see what happens in another 10 years' time. It can go either or. Either it is resilient, economy is good, and things are going all right, and it will come back. Or other thing, the worst that can happen between Democrats and Republicans and the division of the ideology, what is going on.
Right.
I wouldn't be, if it go the wrong way, it is not impossible to think that there could be even a civil war there.
Right. All right, Dr. Bothra, thank you so much for the conversation. Your book has come out. It's called USA v. Raj, about your case on which we had this conversation. I believe there would be a Bollywood flick also that's going to come out on your book based on your experience. That would be worth a watch, as of course the book would be worth a read, because in the times that we are living in, every day America makes headlines, and for people to understand what's there once you land, and if it can happen to Dr. Raj Bothra, it can happen to anyone. Hopefully people would read the book and of course watch the movie when it comes. Thank you so much, Dr. Bothra, for having this conversation with us.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Thank you.